Now, before we get into the incredible final, I cannot wait. Let's take a quick look at the recap from last year's grand final.
They are now neck and neck. I think Darkus Muzan's advantage on defense is what's going to give them the win in this final match. First off, we're going to see Linade coming in from alternate attacks. He's got that hybrid army that Carvin loves so much, bringing in one of those headhunters too, just to make me happy.
Yeah, decided to use the Queen charge up top into the single target Inferno on Karta's space, and the Queen's got the healers right onto her with some balloons down. Yeah, the single target Inferno has yet to lock onto this Queen with that rage nice and early. Get ready for a potential ground skeleton to pop. Let's see. Oh, wait, no. The single target Inferno is going to go down super quick, easily right there. No worries. Only had to invest one free spell for this charge through here. I'm going to be able to grab a lot more value, but 2 ground expos. But look at this. Clan Castle is pretty far away from this Queen. Has yet to pull it out.
This charge is massive for Linade. Was able to take down a bunch of big targets without even getting engaged by the Royal Champion. Finally finishes her off, and with an additional rage spell on top, will crack through another layer of defenses. That's a lot of expos firing away at her.
Oh.
She still has her ability holding on to it for so long. Linade finally uses it, but a third of the base is already destroyed. This is a very successful Queen charge to start things off. As we now move into the second stage of the attack, the Hog Riders are coming on in. A Siege Barracks to back up and support the funnel along the bottom side, while these miners are helping in the interior, but didn't get the pull there. That Lava Hound is going to get negated, though. Only the Royal Champion targeting onto there. Nice use of the Royal Champion's ability. Actually, that was the Grand Warden's ability to protect from that Town Hall, Carbon.
Yeah, unfortunately the Queen goes down, but look at the Lava Hound and Inferno Dragon. The Lava Hound stole that Royal Champion up, did not take it out or deal with that Hound from the charge of the Queen, so had to do it with the Royal Champion, and now these miners are getting stalled up. These Hogs have died off into the core, and unfortunately he's not going to have this push through. He's not going to be able to get to that Eagle Artillery. The Queen kind of looped around and went to the top side and avoided that Eagle, so it did a massive amount of damage, and Linade's going to fall short here, and it's going to be a lower percent 2-star that we've normally seen from him in this war here.
Yeah, it was an awesome start with that Queen charge, but she went down on the outer side, just taking too many shots. Those healers strained to support her as best they could, but I think that the bigger fail here was with the main force of the attack. The Hogs and the miners seemed to barely even get through the first couple of compartments on this base. So much firepower on the backside, and that is really playing to Darkus Muzan's strength here. Their defenses have held up incredibly. Only 64% 2-star, the worst hit that we've seen from Linade so far in this qualifier series.
Yeah, unfortunate attack right there. I was surprised he didn't try to lure out the CC to deal with that Queen, because it stalled up the Royal Champion and unfortunately wasn't able to get that value with the hybrid to push his way through. And we're seeing the Inferno Dragon come up clutch, being able to be used as a defensive CC. I don't think we've seen it on offense yet once, but we're now jumping into Kartik, so he put up an amazing defense. Now can he come in with the attack for Darkus Muzan and start them off for a potential triple? He's going in with the Yeti Bow Bat. He's got one head under. The Grand Warden finds a Tesla farm right here with a Skelly. It's going to slow him down. Oh, he's going to force this rage. That was a beautiful Tesla farm from Linade right here to have to force that rage spell right there.
Yeah, very scary find for Kartik, but if he's able to deal with it, which it looks like he is, that could give him a little bit of a leg up toward the later stage of the hit, not having to worry about that Tesla farm later on. Could help out with the cleanup, but yeah, having to invest several boulders as well, which now won't be available for the main stage of the attack. He's thrown away a Yeti on the top side to provide some additional funneling here, but man, he's really invested a lot and has kind of hit his head against the wall here. Firing back at Linade now. It's interesting that it's Linade attacking first against Kartik, and now Kartik attacking back against Linade in the very second attack. But yeah, 64% is the standard to beat set by alternate attacks. Darkus Muzan eager to pull ahead, and with a really reliable army comp now, the Yeti bowlers should be able to crash through here. The bats on the back end have got not much to worry about, especially with these two multi-target Infernos being the first things to go down from Kartik's attack.
Exactly. Now he drops this blimp. Because these balloons tested for seeking air mines, he doesn't have to pop that Grand War Internal Tome for the battle blimp, but he finds a tornado trap. Uh-oh, it's getting spun around. He does freeze his air defense because he needs to make sure this blimp gets to this town hall. But these multi-target Infernos did amazing work onto those bowlers into the core. The Hound does pop, and these pups went down south, unfortunately. Still has the Royal Champion, but hang on. These multi-targets.
Yikes for me, Carbon Fin. I don't know how they're going to be able to finish off after this. Finally get the town hall, but man, even just barely. The battle blimp crashes in, but those two multi-target Infernos are actually still alive. The Infernos that I thought were going down relatively early are holding up and dealing a massive amount of damage here. Just like Volley's multi-target Infernos, this could be the saving grace of this base. Bats are coming in now, but there are still way too many targets to finish off. It's just barely going to get the 2-star with the cleanup along the edges.
Yeah, exactly. That freeze onto the Wiz Tower. Oh, the Wizard was a little too early. It's not going to be able to grab as much percent now because that cannon took it out, using the freeze down south on this Wizard Tower. But those multi-target Infernos, the healers did not transfer off. Normally, setting Yetis into multis with healers on them is a really good call to keep them alive. No worries. But in here, that was a massive amount of damage. Unfortunately, Kartik's going to fall very short, but he is going to just edge out on percentage over Linnade's first attack. So Darkest Muzan will have the advantage, but it's not much. You would think that that low percentage from alternate attacks would give Darkest Muzan the opportunity to step up, but it's still going to be anyone's war at this moment.
That's right, a slim lead for Darkest Muzan. And remember, though, these clans are preparing during a very short period of time. While we enjoyed that brilliant commentary from Judoslav, they were hard at work trying to figure out the best ways to deconstruct these bases. A little bit of an advantage for Darkest Muzan, but definitely not falling up, rising up to the task, rather, of what we had expected from them so far, Banks.
Darkest Muzan and alternate attacks off to a slow start in our final. Definitely not something that we were expecting. Maybe nerves have got slightly the better of them. I'm not entirely sure. Let's take a quick look at this replay, Carbon, from Kartik.
Yeah, this is a beautiful use of the Warden ability for the wall breakers, but the problem is he decided to go with sneaky goblins, and that Warden ability probably might have just been a little bit too early. That multi-target Inferno and all that damage into the core, if he saved the Warden for that section, maybe he would have been able to push his way through the base and get a little bit more value. But now we're going to be jumping straight into the very next attack from Alter Attacks. It's going to be Vale, and he's coming in with the Drag Bat. Drops the Baby Dragon up top, does have that super wall breaker, trying to get his queen to go for this air defense in the second layer, with the Royal Champion going for the other side air defense. And take note, we do see a multi-target next to the clan castle all the way in the core with two sweepers there as well. Let's see if he can get some nice values, and he still has, unless he switches it, he's got that Stone Slammer, Woody.
Sure does, and we've seen this Dragbat successful before. 11 dragons is nothing to sneeze at, and really difficult to get the 3-star, but against very certain bases it has been done, and it has been done quite recently in this qualifier as well. Volley's going to be coming in from the very top side of the space, has got a slammer, as you mentioned. That can be maybe switched out to a battle balloon if he feels like there's a problem that he has to go for the town hall later for, but this is actually a pretty good tornado trap for Volley. It's going to come down relatively early in this raid, and it won't mess up those dragons down on the backside, but they've got a really clean path straight for the town hall right now. They're getting burnt out by this Inferno, but have taken it down relatively quickly, and with another few free spells available to them, I expect to see those coming out to protect against the massive firepower from this Giga Inferno, or maybe from the single target Infernos in the backside. Grand Warden Eternal Tome will protect all of the left side dragons, but misses the one over on the right. That's going to really split up this attack and make it difficult to get the 3-star, Carbon.
Yeah, thank goodness he sent the blimp to go for the town hall, because the dragon just split all the way around. Look at the bats being used right on top of the scatter shot, not needing to use the freeze because of that small circle. Drops the freeze perfectly on the bottom wizard tower, but these dragons have died off. It was a perfect, unbelievable funnel, but the dragons split in different directions, and unfortunately this one is looking like another defense for Darkest Muzan.
Something I think that Volley didn't count on was the CC troops coming out of that blimp after the Grand Warden ability had already been used. And so because the blimp reached the town hall, dropped the troops, they actually all died when the town hall went down because they weren't protected by that Eternal Tome. Volley getting actually the highest overall damage percentage that we've seen from any attack so far, and enough to catch back up to Darkus Muzan, but still another hit on board and yet another miss. No 3-star from either squad yet. The finals have really been shaken up. Both teams, the defense is just holding really strong here so far, Carbon.
I think it has a lot to do with the nerves here, trying in the very first qualifiers, and who is going to be the very first one to get that triple for their team. I can't see this going to the 10-10. This has got to be at least 2 triples, at least from one of the teams here, maybe 12-12. And will we see potential for alternate attacks and come back with more, like 3 more to wrap it up with triples? But still, we're going to have to see some really solid defenses so far. Maybe they saw their bases getting hit in the previous war, switch up some traps and go with that. But Volley's Dragon split in all these different, in 2 different directions here. Thank goodness he sent that blimp to go straight for that Town Hall, saved that one there. But yeah, unfortunately lost that momentum push. There was a lot of damage on the backside.
Yeah, I think it was actually the saving graces of that air sweeper on defense from UZP, splitting up the attack by pushing some of the dragons to the right and some of them over to the left. That's what resulted in him not having the concentration of firepower that he was looking for to at the second stage of that. Missed out on the Grand Warden Eternal Tome on a few dragons over on the right side, and ultimately fell short there. Wiped out the left side and got the percentage destruction above Darkus Muzan, but Wei is going to have a clear opportunity now to pull far ahead. A 3-star master from this squad is going to be attacking now with the hybrid army that has been so successful in the past.
Yep, we're seeing the blimp that got a nice value. There's the poison spell. Look at this Inferno Dragon. Let's keep our eye on it. Where is it going to go? And oh, wait, it's going to lock on this queen here. She's getting slowed down. Drops that freeze spell because that Headhunter was slowing down the queen. So now the queen's gonna make her way into the core, which is near that air defense. And then we're gonna see the potential king on the other side for the Town Hall, or the king could even just grab the Town Hall on the outside and send the hybrid somewhere else. But this queen does, oh wait, it does have 1 super wall breaker. It's gonna come down to the value that Wei can get with that queen there, Woody.
It's been atypical to put the Town Hall all the way outside the walls. Usually when you want to make your opponents at least sweat a little bit in their attempt to take it down, but that's going to be a really easy target for Wei now, who's instead going to have to worry a bit more about this Eagle artillery on the back end, super far away from the rest of this base, and going to be really hard to get to. Spread out scatter shots along the interior as well are scary, and an Archer Queen still looking healthy on the bottom left side. That's going to be quite difficult to reach. Wei's going to rage up his Archer Queen, but that's going to force out the ability as she takes down that single target Inferno and makes her way to the rest of the defenses. Defending Archer Queen hasn't engaged yet, and the attacking Archer Queen has lost her ability. That's going to be a big hit for her. She tries to move through the space with healers that are taking so much firepower from that scatter shot, Carbon.
Yeah, those healers were getting whacked by the scatter shot as they were going right by. The queen already burned her ability. She's getting stuck on the wall. Unfortunately, the hybrids moving their way through. The Eagle artillery is still standing up on the backside of the space. Drops the heal. Royal Champion's got her ability. Well, no, the queen just goes down now. Is he going to have just enough? The enemy king is going to do some massive work on defense to stall these troops up, but he needs to push his way through. Oh, the scatter shot is not locking onto the large group. It's locking onto the Royal Champion of all the troops here.
That's good luck for Wei, but still a lot of damage has been dealt against these Hog Riders from splash damage structures all over the space. The Bomb Tower and Wizard Tower still standing strong. The Scatter Shot's going to retarget out into the Hogs and finish the rest of them off. This base didn't hold up too well, but hey, it's still standing. The bulk of the attack is now down. Wei is fast approaching that 90% mark, but there's just too little for the cleanup along the outer edges. And I think that Boom's defense is going to be able to barely hold on. Still no triples for either squad here, Carbon Finn.
Wow, yeah, these defenses are holding strong. Were these the defenses, these bases that they were holding for at this moment? Granted, I don't know. I personally would have tried to use my best bases at the beginning to get to this moment, because if you don't make it here, then you can't even use these bases to begin with. But still, these bases have been putting up some really solid defenses. Really nice try there from Wei. Banks, it's this final here is just to speak of the defenses, not the offensive strategies right now.
Exactly, a 92% 2-star from Wei. A really good start. Obviously, we've still yet to see that first triple, but yes, like you mentioned, Carbon, it is the base building and the defenses that are holding up at the moment and that are really standing proud and keeping both of these teams still in the race. It is still anyone's match, Woody.
You know, I called before the match that Darkus Muzan have got the stronger defenses, but I didn't imagine that it would be 4 attacks and 2 stars all the way around for these guys. Maybe JoJo is going to be the first one to be able to turn up the heat and get that triple. He's brought 3 Lava Hounds and 28 balloons to this aerial assault. No healers to back up a queen charge in this one. Instead, going to be zapping down the middle of this base, taking out the clan castle and a few of the surrounding buildings here. Now goes to the main attack up at the top side. Ice Golem to block for a couple of the heroes, and even a Valkyrie in there to swing her axe around and deal some damage to those defenses. Catches a couple of the Teslas on the top side. That's going to be a good catch for JoJo early on, despite the fact that it's going to cause a little bit of trouble for his funnel. He's going to drop his Royal Champion and expect to see the Archer Queen coming in soon after to support the remainder of this attack on the top side to deal with that Town Hall.
Yeah, we're going to have to see if he's able to end up getting to this Town Hall there and path this Queen potentially there. The King is working on the Royal Champion. The enemy King is still standing over there. Will this Queen go here? He does have 1 Barbarian, which I'm going to be interested. Oh, wait, it is a corner.
There, huh?
Which he can drop. Yeah, the Queen is going to go straight for this Town Hall. Beautiful final set. And now that he got the scatter shot, he got both sweepers. And look at this. The other scatter shot is gone. If I'm looking here, there is no scatter shot left in the space. The Stone Slammer's coming down south. He can fly around with no sweeper. This is looking really solid.
JoJo starts the attack from the right side corner, sent in the Grand Warden to bolster this balloon army. One of those Lava Hounds is getting burnt to a crisp by the Inferno Tower, but barely makes it to the other side. That means that all of those pups are going to be splashing down to the bottom. At the same time, both of the Lava Hound pups have now exploded. There's a Dragon now going to back up the rest of this push as the Stone Slammer has gone down, firing away at that Archer Queen. Is it going to be enough to kill her? That's a Grand Warden. Eternal Tome catches the Dragon, and that's enough to keep it alive. The Archer Queen goes down, and JoJo's on a rampage, sending the balloons to the left side corner. There's no more splash damage structures that can stop him. I think we finally found our first 3-star, Carbon.
Woody, we finally did. Yo-Yo coming in with a beautiful Lalo attack. Look at the value that he got flying around here. Dragon still cleaning up. A million loons still going through with over a minute left in this attack. The first 3-star of the grand finals going to alternate attacks. Beautiful job. So much value with the lightning, with the Sui of the heroes. Got the Town Hall and just flew around the space. Perfectly executed for alternate attacks, and now they have the advantage and the pressure is put onto Darkest Mizan.
JoJo is a running riot. This guy cannot be underestimated. Look at the skill, waiting for the perfect moment to get that Grand Warden Eternal Tome off, protecting all of these troops and getting them raged up as well. Right on target with a perfect plan and the flawless execution. The spread on these balloons has got to be mentioned as well. Grabbing that last remaining Inferno Tower from the top side of the base while the bulk of the force moved along the bottom side. And yeah, as you mentioned earlier, without the scatter shots to defend that base, there was nothing to stop those balloons from flying high.
Yeah, absolutely. And now we have UZP coming in, and we have a Sui Lalo, but, well, we actually have 2 E-Drags. So this might be closer to charging E-Drags into the Eagle, the Queen. Is this kind of a little bit of an E-Drag push into the base into a back end Lalo? Let's see, normally I've been seeing some of this. I think this is the first time. I think I used to call or read. I haven't seen it for like forever at Town Hall 13, like the YOLO Tro, which uses like a clone spell and things like that. And yeah, it looks like we have an E-Drag. Usually you will send an E-Drag, the Stone Slammer, to charge it in to get value because the enemy Royal Champion and the Queen are standing right next to each other here.
UZP a bit late on his Barbarian King ability, let him get burnt up by that Inferno Tower, and that's going to miss out on quite a bit of the early stage funnel here. But nonetheless, the Archer Queen is going to come in to be able to finish the job, pops it down before we get the big hit. Moving in now, 2 Electro Dragons to assist the backside Stone Slammer here. They're targeting that Eagle Artillery and need to take it down because it can dish out a ton of damage to those balloons. Big target though right next to that scatter shot is going to go down relatively early in this raid. Can they also finish off these 2 Royal Champion and Archer Queen heroes, Carbon?
He lost one of the E-Drags to the bottom side, unfortunately, and that's going to be massive because now the enemy Royal Champion and the Queen are still up in the core. He needs his E-Drag to skip onto them. No, but the Air Skellies are absorbing the shots here. Needs his E-Drag. Yes, the E-Drag shot gets those heroes down, Woody. Wow.
Electricity from the skies, lightning like Thor's hammer, pounding down on this base. Jojo might have just gotten a 3-star, but he might be 3-starred on his own. Use
The headhunter
falling forward onto this town hall now with balloons all over the place, protected by a Grand Warden's Eternal Tome. Drop the bomb and the town hall is finished, but will that protect long enough to protect the bomb? No! The bomb goes off, and once again, a big hit that seemed destined for 3 stars has taken a massive setback.
Oh my gosh, Woody, the headhunters came out of that defending clan castle and forced that warden ability to pop super early, so he lost the perfect timing on it, and then those loons took massive amount of damage over the town hall, and he not able to take it down. Wow, he lost all those balloons and those headhunters. If you are thinking you definitely want to use them now when you're defending clan castle, Woody, it was just that small thing, but he was able to get a lot of value, and he lost one of the E-Drugs on the outside there. He wasn't able to get more chain value, and that's going to be another defense banks for alternate attacks.
That is exactly what alternate attacks were looking for. UZP had the opportunity to bring back a 3-star, and then they would have had the percentage difference in their favor. However, by only being able to clutch up that amount of percentage, all he needed was above 81% to put Darkest Muzan in the lead. However, alternate attacks take the lead, and it's still anyone's game.
If the Electro Dragon had just been able to take down that air sweeper, or if the second Electro Dragon had gone toward that queen instead of looping around to the outside, then that middle of the base would have been absolutely gutted. The attack looked really good besides that. That main force pathing over the town hall and just a slightly early Grand Warden ability was ultimately what resulted in the fail, though, in my opinion. We still now have alternate attacks ahead in both stars and overall percentage. Let's see if Ast can keep that pressure going.
Yep, and we have Ash coming in with the 4 Super Witches. This is I don't even know, Woody, did we see any Super Witches coming from alternate attacks at all in here in the qualifiers? We've seen the other clans come in with a handful of Super Witches, not too many, but I don't know if this is the first time with these Super Witches here for alternate attacks, but they're coming in, 4 of them with 2 jump spells to go into the base and dropping all the Super Witches. Oh no! They're all getting targeted by the Eagle Artillery. Hopefully it doesn't do too much damage. Healers can help heal them back up. Pops that ability right in the beginning, and out comes that clan castle.
The Grand Warden ability was forced because the Eagle Artillery was firing down on him. That just is another problem with the early stage of the attack like this. The Warden Walk has to stay safe, and with that, he's lost a major offensive tool for his kit here. Ast is going to add some Hog Riders into the top side, trying to take care of that signal target Inferno. But wow, he's got a lot of heat to worry about in the middle as well. Finishes off the enemy Archer Queen and is going to continue his jump through this base. That Eagle Artillery taking some shots now, but Ast has not been able to finish it off yet. And it is just raining down hellfire on this attack, Carbon Fin.
Yeah, and he's got his push into the core of this base. The Royal Champion is down south, still has 1 more freeze, and look at this, we still have 4 more balloons to use. Queen burns her ability here in the core, uses the freeze finally on the single target Inferno, but the Queen does go down. There are a few Super Witches still alive. These big boys are tanking quite a bit. Pops the Royal Champion ability, down goes the single. Is he going to have just enough? He's going to try to find the perfect opportunity to use these balloons. He might just be able to get this one, Woody.
This Super Witch army is like a big couch. You got a lot of wiggle room. They spawn those big boys out in front, and with healers on the backside, even if they take a big hit, they're pretty beefy themselves. They can take a lot of shots and keep on swinging. Ast has got 79% with 40 seconds left, and quite a few forces still left on the field here. Triggers a tornado trap a little bit late here, and he's gonna have to swing around through these walls to get to the backside, but I think that he's going to run out of time potentially here, Carbon Fin.
Yeah, the biggest thing is time now. He's got the 1 balloon that he's going to try to... Oh, he finds a Seeking Air Mine with that balloon. It is going to be time issue right there. The time fail. The Witches will probably be able to stay alive here with those healers on them. And the big boys are trying to help beat through the wall. The Wizards on the outside. Yeah, it's going to be just in the mid 90%, 95% 2-star there with the Super Witches. You can see it's never over because they can keep spawning those big boys, which have a massive amount of HP. Even for the back end, you just have to be very careful. Very nice try right there, giving the advantage even more right now to alternate attacks. Darkest Muzan really needs to step up, and there is the replay with the poison into the core. That Inferno Dragon Lava Hound really did stall things up there, Woody.
Time to clash, as Adam said it best in chat. That was a savage black mine. If that balloon had been able to pass through the remaining defenses, take down that cannon and archer tower, that still might have actually been a triple. 95% is so razor close to victory there, but nevertheless, Ast is going to keep alternate attacks in the lead right now. They've got the advantage on stars, and they're going to be pushing forward with an 84% average destruction. That's pretty significant given the fact that a couple of early attacks from both teams were relatively low on the overall destruction. Alternate attacks is still the team to beat here, Carbon.
Absolutely. Now we're going to see the next attack coming in for Chin of Darkest Muzan, deciding to go in with the Yeti Smash. We've seen Judo talk about it many times, and we've seen it being used in the qualifiers here several times with multiple 3 stars. Definitely has a great opportunity at 3-star as long as you overwhelm and you time that Grand Warden ability perfectly. And we do have the Clan Castle that is standing right behind it, but what can this Warden actually get here? Is he going to try to charge this Warden deeper and grab that? Wait a second. Oh, he does pull out the headhunters. Wait a second. He has to drop that rage. He needs to take them down. The Warden's getting slowed down. He is using the... Oh, he had to use a freeze spell there. Look at that.
Interesting decision there from Chin. Does use the freeze spell, but not until after the Grand Warden already got slowed down a little bit. They'll actually activate the Town Hall relatively early, and that's a pretty good play here from Chin. That Mega Inferno isn't going to be enough to finish off the Grand Warden, especially when he's raged up like this. That might even be a little bit of overkill from Chin, but nevertheless, that will be the Town Hall going down, and a jump spell deployed over here on the bottom left side to support this Queen, Yeti, and a few balloons coming on in as well. Catches a Seeking Air Mine there. Nice job for the Coconut Loon. Catches 2 Seeking Air Mines. Actually, that is a great result for Chen early on. This push is looking mighty and massive, Carbon.
Another Seeking Air Mine right there with the balloon. The King still got his ability. Pops it finally. Out comes the Lava Hound. And some of the goblins going to find the Tornado Trap. Pushing his way. Pops the Grand Warden Channel Tome into the core of this base. There is the jump. Does deploy a late wizard here to join up in the middle, but the Royal Champion is coming down trying to be behind these hogs, but she's getting targeted right now by that Archer Tower. Probably wanted to be able to save her health a little bit more. No more spells. It's going to come down to the timing of the Queen and Royal Champ ability. Woody, is he going to be able to have enough push to the backside of this?
I don't know. Well, 2 multi-target Infernos are going to be hard to deal with. The Royal Champion deals with one of them. She still has her ability, and so does the Archer Queen. That's going to be a lot of firepower on the backside. Take a look at that topside Expo, though. It's set to ground. It can deal a ton of damage. There's nothing really that can focus fire it out except for this last remaining Yeti. Can it get the job done and smack it away? And I think it will with that Expo down. We just have a lot of long-range troops that are left, but not a whole lot of time to get the cleanup down. We have a couple of healers on the top side that are trying their best to keep this Yeti in play, but as he goes down, they're going to have to swap back off to the Queen. This Queen is going to have a field day running through this base. There seems like there's nothing that can finish her off, but I don't think that she's got enough time to do the G, Carbon Fin.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, Queen's going to burn her ability here, and this is just going to be another one into the mid-80s, and not going to see a 3-star. Alternate attacks defenses are shining right here in the grand finals. Unbelievable with this Queen not going to be able to help take the rest of this base down. Time is not going to be on his side, has plenty of defenses and buildings up on the top side of this base, and is just going to try to approach as close to a 90% as possible. 87, 88, and finally the 80. Oh, just gonna wrap up 88% 2-star. And Banks, we have yet to see a 3-star from Darkest Muzan.
It's true, Darkest Muzan still trying to find that ever-elusive 3-star. It's proving to be pretty difficult. Alternate attacks are looking pretty comfortable for this win, but it's still anyone's game. As we've seen so far in this final, every single match, every single round that we've seen has been so tight, so different. We think they've been losing their nerve. We think they haven't been planning their attacks well. They haven't been going as planned. So it really is anyone's match still, but alternate attacks nudging ahead at the moment, right, Carbon?
Yes, absolutely. Alternate attacks looking wonderful in this spot. And we have none other than Boom coming in for the final attacker of alternate attacks. Woody, he's deciding to go in with the Yeti Bobat.
A 3-star here would seal the deal and guarantee victory for alternate attacks. Is Boom the MVP from this squad, the guy to get the job done? Moving in with the Yeti Bobat, like you mentioned there, Carbon. He's got a big task ahead of him. A really far spread out base is going to give him a marathon ahead of him. If he's going to finish this race, he'll be running for a long time. He's got to start this attack relatively early, or else he's going to have difficulty with the time fail, the same as many other attackers have had so far in this war.
Yeah, absolutely. The Grand Warden going to be used on the outside. We're talking about time. Needs to pull this Grand Warden away from the single target Inferno. Drop into boulders. Finally gets pulled over to the left side here. The King does have his ability. He's going to charge his way straight into the middle of the space here. And out comes the Clan Castle. Oh, look at this. We're going to see the blimp. He's going to try to time it. He pops the Grand Warden Shuttle to him. Hopefully this blimp can make it. Is it a little too early? Doesn't find any of the traps just yet. Still pushing his way to the Town Hall. And the boulders could be able to jump into the core if he's got any. Yep, there it is. And the Town Hall's looking to go down.
Very aggressive battle blimp here, going straight for the Town Hall, and then Warden's ability used really early on in this raid, but getting some great results from it, jumping on into the base. He's already got the first star down now, sends in the bats at the left side corner, and here they come a streaming in, swarming the top side. Got to worry about that Wizard Tower, but freezes it at the perfect moment. Bats split up and are going to start to wail away at this base. A second freeze spell as well, Carbon Fin.
Oh, he used that freeze spell there, not at the right time. But wait, he pops the Queen ability perfectly to take the Wizard Tower down. That was what I was worried about because he didn't have another freeze for it.
He's got it.
Wow.
2 swag headhunters even holding on into this army camp space. Boom is so far ahead with so much time. There's nothing to stop him. Alternate attacks are going to get the golden ticket.
Wow, Boom coming in, pops that Queen ability to be sure to take down that Wizard Tower, and the Yeti Bobat, look, he's gonna swag these 2 headhunters, doesn't even need them. Beautiful job with the pressure on the line, going to clutch it up for alternate attacks. Unbelievable with everything there. Boom is the one to get it done.
Ready or not, here he comes. Boom for the triple has put alternate attacks far and ahead over their competition. There's no way to catch up at this point, and we now have our first team that will be going to the $1 million Clash of Clans World Championship Finals at the end of the year. Take a look at this replay, Carmen.
Yeah, just a perfect timing on the Grand Warden ability to get everything in the core. The blimp didn't find any sinking air mines from that area. He used some sneaky goblins, the Yetis, to take that Town Hall down. But we're still jumping right now into the final attack here for Darkest Muzan of B, looking to go in with the hybrid with 1 headhunter as well.
One last attack to wrap up this first of the year qualifier. Darkest Muzan won't go down without one more swipe at their opponents. Foes on the other side already cheering and celebrating as their victory has been guaranteed, but B will give us one more showing of how hybrid can deal damage in the new meta. Keep an eye out for this guy. You're going to be seeing a lot more of Darkest Muzan later this year. I am absolutely sure of it. An amazing squad that reached the finals and have earned a lot of respect from the competitive scene.
Absolutely. That just shows you alternate attacks losing their very first war here in the qualifiers has what it takes, sets their minds, and they knew that they could make that comeback from the lower bracket, and they deserved it right here to be promoted. But we're seeing B coming in to try to push this Queen towards this bottom side potentially. I mean, the blimp did come up there, did take out the Clan Castle, has 1 super wall breaker to potentially charge this Queen towards that scatter shot, because if this Queen walks anywhere past that, the scatter shot could be at risk for taking those healers out. Yep, uses a super wall breaker just to charge the Queen right into there, and potentially we're going to probably see the hybrid going for, unless the Queen gets out of this compartment here. Wait a second. Oh, she's going to go for that scatter. She might go to the Tesla here.
B catches the Sam and will send in the freeze spell there to shut down that Inferno and the Expo, but these Expos set to ground indicate that Ast acknowledges this base might be a little bit weak to the sort of hybrid army, instead trying to counterbalance that with this long-range ground-based defense. Archer Queen will lock onto the Town Hall now, finishing that off, gets the first star, and wow, she's approaching the second star too before the main phase of this attack has even begun. Here it comes though from the top left side at the 11 o'clock position. The Grand Warden will be protecting these Hawk Riders as they pass through the base. Single target Infernos are no trouble for them whatsoever. The Queen has already done her job at the bottom. Great job there, but I'm a little bit worried that these healers are not going to be able to swap off. Queen is about to engage another single target Inferno, and that's going to be at the end of her run on this bottom.
Yeah, he's got the whole push coming in from the top side here. Did already pop that Grand Warden ability, has one more heal to use, but this scatter shot, oh, the healer's sitting right on top of the scatter shot, so the healer can't even get hit by it. Wow, it's just hiding there. Well, actually, there's two of them. Finds a Seeking Air Mine, drops that final heal spell here with the Royal Champion and some balloons. It looks like he's going to have just enough to get this one done. A very nice attack to close it, but unfortunately, it's just not going to be enough for their team in the end here.
Yeah, first showing in a 3-star performance. B at the very end puts an exclamation point on this war. Darkest Muzan have really done their best, but came up short against an alternate attack squad with so many amazing base layouts that frustrated a squad from Darkest Muzan that had really picked up pace today, earning 14 stars in their semifinal match, but coming away with just 11 this time. Banks?
An unfortunate turn of events for Darkest Muzan. B doing an extremely good job of closing out that map for Darkest Muzan. However, it is Alternate Attacks who are going to be taking that golden ticket into the finals at the end of the year for their chance to win the majority of the prize pool of $1 million. Congratulations to Alternate Attacks, my MVP for that match, and for the for this qualifier itself. For me, it's got to be Boom from Alternate Attacks. I mean, only not being able to triple one of his attacks in this entire weekend. What about you, Carbon?
Yeah, absolutely. Coming in clutch to put the nail in the coffin right there for Boom's attack with the pressure on the line. We did see a triple come in from Darkest Muzan at the very end there, but still well-deserved to Alternate Attacks. They lost the very first war there and had enough to come all the way back. A lot of clans that would have put them in a really bad mindset, but not Alternate Attacks. They showed it right there.
Thanks everyone for checking out the show. We're really glad to be back on the air and excited to work with Supercell, which gives us a chance to continue casting events even during this pandemic. Really excited to be back and hope to see you again next month. Thanks, man.
Exactly, Woody. Nice one. Exactly. So I'm going to really quickly throw you over to our resident expert, Judo, to break down that last final. Judo?
Yes, it was incredible, Banks, wasn't it? I wanted to showcase Yo-Yo 23. For me, one of the MVPs. Starting off with the lightning spells to the center of the base, alternates the attack with the lightning spells onto the second sweeper as well, taking out the entire core of the base. Incredible stuff. We don't need to explain why he is often given the nickname Lalo 23, setting up this attack beautifully. The Ice Golem and Valkyrie coming in to support the King and the Royal Champion from each angle to allow the Queen to beeline towards the Town Hall. Such an amazing start, and as Carbon mentioned, the Royal Champion had an added bonus of getting the second scatter shot. So in terms of this attack, just putting it in perspective for you guys, normally we talk about the scatter shots, the Clan Castle, the Town Hall, and the Eagle. There's only the Eagle Artillery left after the Queen takes down this Town Hall. Just incredible, and he's not finished yet. Starting out the Lalo portion, this is where he really shines with the Lava Loon and the Stone Slammer. We mentioned the Stone Slammer, in order to protect the balloons itself, and he uses this down to the 6 o'clock area as well. Now what it allows is for the balloons to clump over that final defense that we talked about, the final dangerous one in that of the Eagle Artillery. Grand Warden's ability can go off after that as the balloons split, but in terms of top play as well, sending in extra balloons around the base, he really came in clutch to get Alternate Attacks the first 3-star, and what an incredible performance it was from there, getting that first golden ticket. I can't believe what an incredible weekend of Clash we have had, Banks.
Thank you, Judo. Yes, we have our first winner of the golden ticket. Alternate Attacks will be going through to the finals at the end of the year to battle it out against the best in the business for that $1 million prize pool. What an absolutely magnificent display. And there we have it, the final time this weekend. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much to Carbon, Woody, and Judo for all your hard work, and to the production team for all of your efforts. That's it. We have our first golden ticket winner, and you could be too. By signing up to ESL Play or by qualifying in the in-game Clan War League, you could be joining Alternate Attacks in the end of the year in this final. So, my name is Banks, and I will see you in a month for the next qualifier.